Sisters, if you've ever set a Christmas table with your mama's china and your heart full of tinsel dreams, only to watch it all unravel faster than a cheap sweater in the wash when your own husband drops a bomb like, "Babe, I invited Denise, from back in the day." Then you feel the knife twist that gutted me on a frosty December evening in Ballantine. Charlotte, 3 years into what I thought was our forever after 38 of ups, downs, and everything in between. I was 59, feeling every bit the queen in my red wrap dress from the Macy's rack, pearls from our vow renewal in 18 glinting under the chandelier Robert hung himself. The one that swayed gentle like his promises used to. The house smelled of crown roast slow roasting in the oven, gingerbread cooling on racks, and that spiced cider simmering on the stove, filling our craftsmen with the kind of warmth that said family, faith, and fresh starts. Candles flickered on the mantel next to the family photo from last Easter. Me, Robert, our grown kids Marcus and Kendra smiling wide after church, Leal grandbabies Jamal and Tia tugging at our hems. Laughter bubbled from the kitchen where Kendra helped me whip cream for the pie, her braids swinging as she teased, "Mama, you outdid yourself. Daddy gon' think he married Martha Stewart." I laughed too, swatting her with a dish towel, but inside, my spirit hummed grateful. Robert and I had weathered storms. His mill layoff in 2009, my breast cancer scare in 2015, the empty nest when the kids flew to their own skies. We'd rebuilt stronger, date nights at the Cheesecake Factory turning to quiet walks in Freedom Park. His hand in mine whispering, "Ellie, you're my North Star. Ain't no dark too deep with you." So when he cleared his throat from the doorway, that easy grin slipping just a touch, and said casual as checking the weather, "Babe," almost forgot, invited Denise for dinner. My ex from college? She's in town, single again, thought it'd be nice. The room tilted like the floor gave way under my Sunday heels. Denise? The ghost from his Howard days I'd buried deep under vows and vigils, the one he'd sworn was ancient history when we met at that church picnic in 85. My heart dropped like a stone in the Catawba, heavy and sinking fast, while the oven timer dinged oblivious. But that wasn't the shatter. Oh no, honey. What came next, when I played it cool and served up a side of sweet tea with a twist he never saw coming? That's the move that flipped our whole script. Buckle up, 'cause Auntie Lorraine's taking you back to the roots of this betrayal. Through the fire and out the other side stronger than a Carolina oak after a hurricane. To grasp the gut punch, you gotta dig down to the dirt where Robert and me took root. Me, Ellie Washington back then, 23 and fresh-faced from Clark, Atlanta, with a business degree hot off the press, slinging files at a real estate office in Midtown while dreaming of my own agency one day. Met him at that picnic down at the lake off I-85. Him all charm in his Howard sweatshirt and khakis rolled at the ankles, grilling ribs with that smile that lit up the whole park like fireworks on the 4th. "Girl, you look like trouble wrapped in sunshine," he teased, handed me a plate piled high with potato salad and baked beans. And just like that, we clicked, late nights driving his beat-up Caprice through the city. Talking dreams over 40s at the Overlook, him promising the stars while I laughed and said, "Boy, just promise me steady, ain't chasing fool's gold." But Denise? She was the fool's gold he'd panned before me, his college sweetheart, all curves and confidence. The one who'd broken his heart junior year when she ran off with some ball player from the team. Leaving him to nurse wounds with a six-pack and a guitar he strummed blues on till his fingers bled. When we started courting serious, he spilled it one rainy night in my tiny apartment off Moreland Avenue, rain hammering the tin roof like judgment. Ellie, she was fire, burned hot, left scars. But you're the river that heals 'em. I believed him, sisters, swallowed it whole when he proposed 6 months later on one knee in Freedom Park, ring simple gold with a solitaire that caught the sunset just right. Weddin' was small but soulful, pearls and lace at Friendship Baptist, me walking down the aisle on my daddy's arm, Robert waitin' with eyes wet, vowing till death do us part like it was etched in granite. We built from there, first apartment in Noda with roaches dancing at midnight and trains rattling the windows, me typing deeds while pregnant with Marcus, Robert pulling doubles at the mill to cover the crib and the layette. Marcus came hollering in 87 at Northside, a chubby-cheeked bundle with Robert's dimples and my stubborn chin, and oh, we poured into him, Weekends at the Raptor Center watching owls hoot like wisdom. Holidays at my mama's in East Point stuffing turkey and secrets. Me rockin' him through colic fevers while Robert worked nights, whisperin', "Boy, you're our legacy. Make us proud." Kendra followed 2 years later, all curls and curiosity, and the house grew with him. Shotgun rental to that ranch in Decatur. Down payment scraped from my promotion to office manager and his foreman bump. Sacrifices stacked. Sold my mama's brooch for Marcus's braces. Skipped date nights for Kendra's dance recitals. Pawned Robert's watch for family trips to the Smokies, where we'd roast marshmallows and tell ghost stories till the kids squealed. School plays, soccer games, graduations. I was there, rain or shine, Robert's hand squeezing mine in the bleachers, his pride shining brighter than the stage lights. "Ellie, we did good," he'd say after, pulling me close in the parking lot, and I believed it. Sisters believed our love was the glue holding it all, unbreakable as the chains on his work boots. Fast forward 38 years, and here we were, empty nesters in our late 50s, kids grown and gone. Marcus married to Tiffany 5 years back, a sharp marketer from his office with a smile like sponge sugar and eyes that priced everything she saw, living in a Buckhead condo, climbing corporate while she networked brunches. Kendra, my girl, 36 and a teacher at Westlake High, engaged to Jamal, a sweet engineer from church, nesting in a starter home in East Atlanta with plans for babies soon. Robert and me, we'd hit our stride, me running a small consulting gig for new realtors from home, him retired from the mill on a pension that covered the mortgage and bingo nights at the center. Date nights revived. Friday fish fries at the spot on Moreland, slow dancing in the kitchen to Al Green, him tracing my laugh lines with a finger and saying, "Ellie, you're more beautiful now than the day I met you. Time just polished you fine." Vow renewal in 18 sealed it. Simple ceremony at the lake. Kids and grandbabies witness, rings exchanged under the same oaks where he'd proposed. Thought we'd cruise easy into grandparenting and golden sunsets. But cracks spidered subtle. Robert's stories from Howard slipping out more. Old photos from a box in the attic he'd forgotten. Tiffany's offhand, "Robert, you must have been a heartbreaker back then, over Easter ham." Her eyes lingering a beat too long when he laughed it off. I brushed it. Love like ours don't crack easy. But that Christmas Eve, as snow dusted the azaleas rare and pretty, the fault lines split wide. Dinner was set for 6. Kids, Jamal, the grandbabies, Serena and her husband for extra table talk. Table groaned under the spread. Crown roast glazed honey mustard, mac and cheese baked golden, green beans almondine, cranberry relish tart as truth, rolls warm from the oven, pie waitin' with whipped cream clouds. Kendra and I buzzed in the kitchen, her choppin' pecans while I basted, radio croonin' "This Christmas Soft." Robert poked his head in, tie loose, mistletoe sprig in his pocket for later. "Ladies, smells like heaven in here. Ellie, you outdid the elves. Kissed my temple." Lingerin' warm, then vanished to "check the tree." That's when he cleared his throat from the door again. Casual as asking for seconds. "Babe, heads up. I invited Denise for dinner." "My ex from Howard? She's visiting family single these days. Thought it'd be good to catch up, you know. Bury hatchets for the holidays." The knife plunged silent. "Twist slow. Denise, the fire scar from his college days, the one who'd left him shattered and me to pick pieces when we met. The ghost I'd banished to ancient history files. Room spun, collards blur, Kendra's knife paws mid-chop. Denise?" I echoed, voice steady as steel but inside crumbling like shortbread. "Your ex-ex? Christmas, Robert?" He shrugged, grin sheepish. "Come on, Ellie. Water under the bridge. She's family now, sorta. No biggie. No biggie? The table I'd set for us, the ham slicing for our blended brood, now a stage for his encore with the woman who'd almost stolen my forever before it started. Heart hammered Catawba rapid, but I played cool. Mama taught me grace under fire, smiled thin. Your house too, honey. Table's big. Inside, rage simmered low, realization dawning like a bad dream you can't wake from. After 38 years, vows renewed, storms weathered, he thought, catch up with her fit at my Christmas. Poured cider steady, but as he wandered off to the garage for more wine, I slipped my phone from my apron, fingers flying a text to Serena. SOS. Robert invited his ex to dinner. Denise. Christmas. What in the world? Her ping back fast. Girl, boundaries. Talk it out or plot your glow up. Glow up. The seed planted, sisters. Pains the soil, but strengths the bloom. Little did he know, as the doorbell chimed first guests and Denise's heels clicked up the walk at 6 sharp, my next move was already brewing, a holiday surprise sweeter than pie and sharper than tinsel. That evening unfolded like a bad play I couldn't direct. Denise arriving in a cashmere sweater hugging curves time hadn't faded. Hair swept honey blonde, perfume wafting like a challenge as she air-kissed Robert's cheek a beat too long. Her laugh tinkling like wind chimes in a gale. Ronnie, God, you look just the same, still breaking hearts? She cooed, ignoring my extended hand till he prompted, Denise, my Ellie, best thing that ever happened to me. Her grip cool, eyes flick. Charmed, Ellie. Ronnie's told me all about you. All about me? The woman who'd mended his Howard heartbreak, birthed his legacy, held him through his daddy's funeral in '05? Table tension thick as gravy, kids eyeing curious, Marcus muttering to Kendra, who's the extra plate? While grandbabies banged spoons oblivious. Dinner dragged, ham passed polite, conversation circling her divorce from that bore in Atlanta and new condo in Buckhead overlooking the skyline. Robert leaning in too eager, laughing at her remember when stories from dorm pranks and D.C. marches. I smiled through it. Serving seconds with a more pie, Denise? Sweet as saccharin, but inside boiled. Realization hitting like the ham's honey glaze. This wasn't catch up. It was cracking the foundation, his harmless invite a test I hadn't signed up for. As she gushed about her solo adventures in Paris last spring, Robert's hand under the table squeezing mine felt forced, his eyes darting to her like old flames flickering. Pain crested. 38 years, and here she was, the what-if he'd never fully buried, at my table, my holiday, my home. But as coffee poured and kids cleared plates, strength stirred. No scene, no storm. Grace my weapon, glow up my gospel. Slipped to the kitchen for more napkins, texted Serena again. It's on. X here, all laughs. My move? Epic. Her reply, Queen, serve that petty pie. You got this. Oh, I had it, sisters. Hook set, line reeled. Sinker waitin', backstory's the bedrock. Honey and Ours was built on faith and fire. Me? Ellie Hayes then, 23 and sassy from Clark, Atlanta, with a ledger in one hand and a dream in the other. Hustling as a junior accountant at a firm in Uptown, while eyeing my own book someday. Robert crossed my path at that picnic by Lake Norman. Him fresh from Howard with an engineering degree and a swagger that said, I built this, grillin' burgers with that dimple flash grin. Handing me a plate piled with slaw and beans, teasing, Darlin', you look like you could balance my checkbook and my heart in one sit. Sparks flew quick, drives up 77 with the windows down, him sharing stories of Denise's drama, her leaving him for a better prospect senior year, how it left him guarded but growing. She was spark, Ellie. You're the steady flame that warms, he'd say, pulling over at the overlook to kiss me under the stars, promising a life of us against the world. 6 months in, he dropped to one knee in Freedom Park, ring glinting simple but true. Marry me. Ellie, let's build something real. Weddin' was soul, not spectacle. Vows at the church on Beatty's Ford. Me in ivory lace from the thrift with Mama's veil. Him in a rented tux that fit like fate. Reception at the hall with cornbread and cake. Dancing to Ain't No Woman Like the One I Got till midnight. We dove in deep, first digs in Noda. Roaches partying at night and trains shaking the foundation. Me crunching numbers while carrying Marcus. Robert pulling OT at the mill to stock the nursery. Marcus arrived 87 at Presbyterian, squalling with Robert's curls and my fire. And we poured pure park days at the carousel where he'd chase pigeons. Thanksgivings at my auntie's with her famous dressing stretching the table. Me soothing his ear infections with warm cloths while Robert worked graveyards. Murmuring, our legacy, Ellie, teach him to stand tall. Kendra chased 2 years later, all ringlets and questions, turning our rental to a real home. that ranch in Decatur bought on a wing and a prayer. Down payment from my raise to senior clerk and his crew lead bump. Trades tallied, hawked Grandma's earrings for Marcus's violin lessons. Forfeit girls' nights for Kendra's ballet tutus. Sold Robert's golf clubs for family flights to Disney where the kids whooped on Splash Mountain and we stole kisses in the shadows. PTA meets, prom send-offs, college drop-offs. I showed up rain or reckonin'. Robert's grip my anchor in the stands. His whisper post-game, we raisin' warriors. Babe, you the general. Thought it ironclad, sisters. Love our mortar. Trials our temper. 38 laps round the sun. And we were coastin', nest-fledged. Marcus hitched to Tiffany half-decade ago. A sleek marketer from his firm with a grin like polished quartz and a gaze that tallied net worth. Holed up in Buckhead high-rise, chasing C-suite while she brunch networked. Kendra, my spark, 36 and shapin' minds at a charter school in Vine City, ringed to Jamal the engineer from choir, nestin' in a bungalow near Grant Park with baby fever bubblin'. Robert and me, stride sweet. Me consultin' side hustle for fledglin' agents from the den. Him pension plush from the plant, coverin' the note, and Thursday mahjong at the center. Romance revived. Friday fillies at the joint on Ponce, swayin' slow in the galley to Anita Baker. His thumb tracin' my crow's feet with a murmur. Ellie, you're finer now than that first picnic. Age just burnished you gold. Vow refresh 18 locked it. Lakeside right with the crew and cubs. Bands swapped under the willows where he'd popped the question. Figured we'd glide into spoilin' grandbabies and porch-sippin' sunsets. But Fisher's fissured sly. Robert's Howard yarns spillin' freer. Attic box relics forgotten. Tiffany's casual, Ronnie you ladies man back then, huh? Overham at Easter. Her linger on his chuckle a tick too long. Dismissed it, our bond brick, no break. Yet that Yuletide vigil, as flurries flecked the camellias rare and radiant, the seam split seismic. Feast fixed for sextet. Offspring, Jamal, Wee Ones, Serena Duo for table tidbits. Mesa moaned bounty, pullus corona melsin, macaronus luteus, viridia fabae amygdala, oxycocos acer veritas, rotuli calidi clibenus, placenta expecto cum spuma nubila. Kendra colina buzz, secerenusis dumego sufio, radio croon hoc natale lenis. Robert caput in figo, ligamen laxus, viscum ramus in sinum proserius, dominae, olens caelum hic, eli, superas duendes, templum osculo, diuturnus calidus, tunc evanescit, arbor inspicere. Tunc gutur purgo, ianua ab, casual quasi caelum specto. Cara, caput sursum, invitavi Denise prandio. Ex me ab Howard? Visitat familia, sola rursus, putavi bonum capere, sabe. Sepeli securis proferia, culter mergitacitum. Torquere tardum, Denise, umbra ab Ius Howard dies. Illici juravi historia antiqua, cum conveni authenticinx picnic ecclesiaen. Locus camera, collared blur, culter Kendra pausa medio secare. Denise, echo, vox stabilis adamans, sed interior ruina quasi shortbread. Ex tua? Natale, Robert? Shrug, grin pudibundus. Veni Ellie, aqua sub ponte. Familia nunc, quodamodo. No magnum. No magnum? Mesa pono pronos, pullus transe, promixtos oboles nostra. Nunc scaena proeius encore, cum ille qui paene surripio mea aeternal ante initium. Corma leo catauba rapida, sed cul ludere, mater docem e gratia subignis, smile tenui, domus tua quoque mel. Mesa magna. Interior? Ira bullio bassus, realization aurora, quasi somnium malum noe vigilo a, post triginta 8 annum, vota renovata, tempestas tolerata, cogito capere cum illa apto in mea natale. In fundo sider stabilis, sed quasi vinum plura proservo, telefonum sinum from apron, digiti volantis nuntius ad serena, SOS. Robert invitavit ex sua prandio, Denise, Natale, quid in mundo. Replicatio eius pincelaire, puella limes, loquer, or trauma to a glow-up. Glow-up. Semen plantatus, sorores, dolor solum, sed fortitudo flor. Parum scivit, quasi tintinabulum primus hospes et, Denise calcaneus clic via up et sex acutus. Prox move mea iam fervent. Festum mirum dulcius quam placenta et acutius quam stanum. Illud vespera explico quasi fabula, malano dirigere potui. Denis adventus in laneus tunicam, amplecti curvas tempus nodeflo. Crinis scopae mel blond, unguentum waft quasi provocatio, dumeir osculum Robert gena beatum nimis longum. Eius risutinitu quasi ventus campana in procella. Ronni! Deus spectas idem justus, aducor frangere. Murmur cu, ignoro manus mea extendo donec ille prompto. Denis, mea Eli, optimum quod umquam evenio me. Grip eius frigidus, oculus flic, delectatus, Eli, Roni naravit omne de te. Omne de me? Ille qui suo Howard cor laedomenda, partus eius legatum, teneo eum per patris eius exequiae 05. Mesa tensio crassa quasi ius, soboles oculus curiosus, Marcus mutterat kendra, extra disco cui. Dum grand soboles cochlear verberari oblivious. Sena traho, polus transpolite, colloquium circulo eius divorcium ab ille taedio in Atlanta, et novum condominio in Buckhead skyline specto, Robert inclinans nimis avidus, risua Deus, recordare cum fabula dorm pranks et DC iter. Smile perit. Secundo servio cum plus placenta, Denis. Dulcis quasi saccharum, sed interior bullio. Realization ferire quasi pullus mel glas, hoc no capere. Erat rima in fundamento. Eius innocus invitare temptatio nosignum up I. Quasi la gush de solo adventus in paris verpast. Robert manus sub mesa stringo mea quacta sentio. Aius oculus, darted illam quasi flamma, virus flickero. Dolor cristare, triginta octo annum, et hic illa erat, quidsi ille numquam plene sepelio, at mesa mea, feria mea, domus mea. Yet, quasi caffe in fundo et soboles disco purgo, fortitudo move. No scena, no tempestas, gratia telum mea, glow up evangelium mea. Elapso ad culina pro plus serviet. Nuntius iterum ad serena, insedit. Ex hic omne risu, mia move, epica, replicatio eius, regina servio illud petti placenta. Habes hoc. O habuit sorores, hamus positus, linea reeled. Plumbum expecto backstory the bedrock. Mel and ours build on fides and ignis. Me, Eli Washington Tunk, viganti tres esassi ab Clark Atlanta, with diploma negotium pres calidus off, sling file at firm in uptown while oculus meus proprium agens unum diem. Robert Cross via mia at picnic ill by Lago Norman, illa recens ab Howard with diploma engineering and swagger that dixit ego construo hoc. Grillburger with that dimple flash grin. Manus mihi Plato pile with slaw and bean, tease, darlin. Spectas quasi potes librarium meum et cori nuno sede. Scintilla volare celer, drives up 77 with fenestra down. Il partem fabula de Denis drama. Eius levoeum pro melior prospectu senior annum. Quomodo laedo ium custodio bot groen. Illa scintilla erat, Eli, tu stabilis flamma that cale facit, diceret. Trahir over et overlook to osculum me sub stella. Promissio vita nos contra mundum. Sex menses in, descendit ad unum genu in Freedom Park. Annulus glint simplex but veris. Desponsa me, Eli, construamus alicid real. Nuptiale anima erat. No spectaculum, voda at ecclesia on Beatty's ford. Miani burnia lace ab thrift with vela mama, illin rentux that aptus quasi fatum. Receptio et aula with cornbread and placenta. Saltare tu ain't no mulier like the unus ego got, donec media nox. Nos mergen profundus. Primo fossai in noda, blada party at Knox and Tremenchak fundamento, mi crunch numero Walcario Marcus. Robert Trahir OT at Molendinum to stock Cuna and Layette. Marcus Advenio 87 at Presbyterian, squall with Robert's curl and my Ignis. And Nosefundo purus. Park dies at Carousel where Ilichas Columba. Gratiarum at Tatamea in East Point stuffed turkey and secreta, me soothe auris infectio with calidus pano, while Robert Opus graveyard, murmur, noster legatum, Eli. Dos ium stare altus. Kendra persecute duo annos post, omni ringlet and questio, turno noster rental to real domus. That ranch in Decatur emptus on Alla and Horatio. Down payment ab raise mea to senior cleric and his crew plumbum bump. Trade talio, hoc grandma aurum for Marcus violin lecciones, forfeit puella nox for Kendra ballet tutu. Vende Robert Golf Club for Familia Volatus to Disney, where kid whoop on Splashmont and nose fur osculum in Umbra. PTA occur, prom send-off, collegium drop-off, I monstro up, pluvia or reckonin', Robert's grip anchor mea instant. His murmur post ludus, nos erig warrior, baby, tu general. Cogito ferrus sorores, amor noster mortarium, judicem noster temper dot triginta octo lap around soul, and nose coastin, nidus fledged, Marcus Junctus, Tiffany Dimidium decade ago, sleek marketer ab his firm, with grin like Polish quartz and gaze that tally net worth. Hole up in Buckhead high-rise, Chasso C-suite while Illa brunch network. Kendra Mia Scintilla, Triginta sex and form mind at Charter Scola in Vine City. Ring to Jamal the engineer ab choir, nest in bungalow near Grant Park with baby febris bulio. Robert and me? Stride dulcis. Me consult side hustle for fledglin agent abden. Illa pension plush ab planta. Cover nota and Iovis mahjong at Centrum. Romance revive. Friday file at Junctum on Ponce. Sway tardis in galley to Anita Baker. His pollux tratio my crow's foot with murmur. Ellie. To finer nunc than Illa primus picnic. Annus Eustace burnished to Aurum. Voto refresh 18 locket. Lakeside right with crew and cub. Banda permuto under willow, where illa pop questio. Figura we'd glide in spoil grand soboles, and porticus sip sunset. But fissura fisso sly, Robert's Howard yarn spill freer, attic box reliquia obliviscore, Tiffany's casual, Ronnie, two ladies, homo backtunk, huh? Overham at Easter, here linger on his chuckle tick nimis long. Dismiss it, our vinculum brick, no break. Yet illa eulitide vigil, quasi-nevis fleck, camellia rarus and radiant, seem split seismic. Festum fix for sextet, soboles, Jamal, we unum, serena duo for mesa tidbit. Mesa moan bounty, pulus corona melsine, macaronus luteus, viridia fabaya migdala, oxycoccus acre veritas, rotuli calidi clibanus, placenta expecto cum spuma nubila, kendra culina buzz, sicari nusis dum ego suffio, radio croon hoc natale lenis. Robert caput in figo, ligamen laxus, viscum ramus in sinum proserius, dominae, olens caelum hic, elli superas duendes. Templum osculo, diuturnus calidus, tunc evanescit arbor inspicere. Tunc gutur purgo ianua ab,